James Earl Jimmy Carter Jr., born in 1924 in the small town of Plains, Georgia, lived a life that spanned a century of American history and transformation. From humble Southern roots to the Oval Office and beyond, Carter became not just a president, but a symbol of moral leadership, humanitarian commitment, and quiet dignity. When he passed away in 2024 at the age of 99, he left behind one of the most remarkable legacies of any American public figure, one defined not only by his presidency but by his decades of service afterward. Early life and rise in politics. Jimmy Carter was born on October 1, 1924, into a farming family in rural Georgia. He was deeply influenced by his father's business ethics and his mother's progressive values. After graduating from the U.S. Naval Academy in 1946, he served as a naval officer during and after World War II. He later returned to Georgia to run the family's peanut farm after his father's death. His interest in public service led him to state politics in the 1960s, where he served as a Georgia state senator. In 1970, he was elected governor of Georgia, where he surprised many by pushing for civil rights and government reform during a time of significant racial tension in the South. The presidency, 1977 to 1981. Jimmy Carter was elected President of the United States in 1976, narrowly defeating incumbent Gerald Ford in the aftermath of the Watergate scandal. Running as a Washington outsider who promised honesty and moral leadership, Carter brought a deep sense of faith and personal integrity to the White House. His presidency focused on human rights, environmental conservation, and diplomacy, though it was often hampered by economic challenges and foreign crises. Key achievements and events during his time in office included Camp David Accords, 1978. Carter brokered a historic peace agreement between Egypt and Israel, a major milestone in Middle East diplomacy. Panama Canal Treaties. He negotiated the return of the Panama Canal to Panamanian control, aiming to repair U.S. relations with Latin America. Department of Energy and Education. He established these cabinet-level departments, reflecting his commitment to long-term national planning. Iran hostage crisis, 1979 to 1981. 52 Americans were held hostage for 444 days in Tehran, deeply damaging Carter's image and playing a key role in his electoral defeat. Energy crisis and inflation. His presidency was marked by soaring oil prices, high inflation, and economic stagnation, problems that hurt public confidence. In 1980, Carter lost re-election to Ronald Reagan, but his post-presidential years would come to define his enduring legacy. Post-presidency, a lifetime of service. After leaving office, Carter dedicated his life to humanitarian and diplomatic work through the Carter Center, founded in 1982. Based in Atlanta, the center became a global leader in conflict resolution, disease eradication, and election monitoring. Carter's post-presidency included global health work. The Carter Center led efforts to eliminate guinea worm disease, dramatically reducing its prevalence from millions of cases to near extinction. Democracy promotion. Carter personally monitored over 100 elections in countries around the world, advocating for free and fair democratic processes. Affordable housing. He and his wife, Rosalind Carter, famously worked with Habitat for Humanity, helping build homes for the poor well into their 90s. Nobel Peace Prize, 2002. He was awarded the Nobel for his decades of untiring effort to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts. A life of faith and integrity. Carter's personal life was grounded in Christian faith, humility, and service. A lifelong Baptist, he often taught Sunday school in Plains, even during and after his presidency. He and Rosalind, his wife of over 75 years, represented a rare example of public devotion and partnership. Despite serious health challenges in his later years, including cancer and extended hospice care, Carter remained mentally sharp and spiritually grounded, earning admiration across political lines for his courage and consistency. Legacy and impact. Jimmy Carter's legacy is complex yet deeply respected. While his presidency was often judged harshly for its economic struggles, historical re-evaluation has been kinder, especially regarding his foreign policy and moral clarity. His post-presidency redefined what it meant to be a former president, turning the role into one of active global engagement. Carter's unwavering belief in human rights, peace, and dignity for all people remains a powerful example for future generations. President Jimmy Carter's life was not defined solely by political victories or defeats, but by a lifelong commitment to doing what he believed was right, even when it was unpopular or difficult. He showed that leadership could be humble, that politics could have a moral compass, and that service didn't end with a term in office. From the farms of Georgia to the halls of the White House to the villages of Africa and beyond, Carter left an indelible mark on the world, not as a perfect man, but as a deeply principled one. In remembering Jimmy Carter, 1924 to 2024, we remember a man who showed us how to live with grace, conviction, and compassion in a century marked by upheaval and change.